And now to Mr. Alter to hear his thoughts.
First of all, I'm honored to be here, and I'm going to try to give a slightly, not a different look, but a personal look in the last 15 days in my life, just as an example of what I think an amazing shift is. Uh, in the last, not even less than 15 days, I've seen 4 films, all released in PVRs. Now, PVRs are a symbol of modern India and very commercial films, but I saw 4 films, I'll name them. The first film I saw was a film by Anant Mahadevan called Gaur Hari Dastan, about a man from Orissa who was a freedom fighter trying to establish his credentials. An amazing film. Then I saw a film called Masan, which if you've not seen, you have to see it. 2 love stories intertwining, both based in Banaras. The third film I saw was a film called Kaun Kitne Pani Mein, which deals with the issue of water. How are we going to survive without water? And the fourth was a film which I just happened to be part of called The Path of Zarathustra, which is a look at the Parsi community today in India. So these, in less than 2 weeks, 4 films in PVRs. Now, granted that in most of the shows I saw, we were only 3 or 4 people in the PVR. But the fact that films like this can reach PVRs is amazing. And on the other hand, of course, you've got a filmmaker, Kabir Khan, who in the course of 1 month makes a film in which he puts out a hand of friendship towards Pakistan and makes crores of rupees. And then he makes another film in which we attack Pakistan and he makes more crores of rupees. It's absolutely amazing. On the theater front, and I'm very happy that Salman Saab has given is Nachiz ko apne mauka diya. We are doing 2 plays based on his thoughts and his work. But those are not the plays I want to talk about right now. Over the last weekend in Delhi, and in a theater center called Kingdom of Dreams, which is a fantastic name because it is, we presented 2 plays, one based on the life of K.L. Sehgal, and the second called Lal Qile Ka Aakhri Mushaira, in which we had poets ranging from Ghalib to Momin to Zauq to Shauq to Zafar, performing right next to the main theater where a play which I think is called Zangura was going on. And I saw the play. That play involves women scantily clad, flying down from the skies and dancing to Bollywood numbers and all sorts of things going on, with about 1,000 people watching. And right next to it, in a theater called Shosha, of all the names, we performed Kundan Lal Sehgal and Lal Qile Ka Aakhri Mushaira. We averaged about 35 people per show, and Zangura averaged about 1,000. But we performed. So, and last night in Pune, we presented at a restaurant called Flower Works. We took R.K. Narayan's book, The Guide, and we intertwined it with Vijayanand's and Devanand's great film Guide. And we had an audience of a fair number of people. And it was amazing that a film which was a super duper hit 50 years ago, we could spend an evening last night in Pune talking about that book and that film, which are more than 50 years old. My other great passion is sports. In the last 15 days in sports, amazing things have happened. Of course, right at the top, we managed to actually win an overseas test series after 4 years. And ye na cheez main likhne ki koshish karta hu, khaskar cricket ke baare mein. And I've been saying for the last 4 years, we have to get rid of 3 people, and we might stand a chance of winning test matches overseas. We had to get rid of Dhoni, we had to get rid of Fletcher, and we had to get rid of Srinivasan. The minute we got rid of these 3, we win a test series overseas after 4 years. Mr. Dhoni led us to 6 defeats in tests overseas. No one gives a damn because Dhoni is in the pocket of Mr. Srinivasan. And as you were talking about ecology, sir, this is my take on the ecology of sports. We got rid of a coach who did nothing. We got rid of a test captain who did nothing. We got rid of I don't know what to say about Mr. Srinivasan. And what happens? We win. And then we have a fast bowler, Ishant Sharma, who won us the last test. He behaves like an Australian. He gets fined 65% of his match fees. He's banned for the next test match. And the great Sunil Gavaskar, who for me is God, is writing in his column that Mr. Ishant Sharma should behave himself. So we're going all over the place. But on the positive side, Saina Nehwal, who I think is the greatest female athlete that independent India has ever produced, is in the final of the World Badminton Championship. She almost wins. She's ranked #1 in probably the most grueling sport that the British ever invented, badminton. And she's #1 in the world. And we give 4 pages of coverage to the IPL. We give 8 pages of cover to Indrani Mukherjee's very sad story. And here's a woman who's #1. She gets a column on one side. And then, even more obscure, but in my mind, even more positive, in the recently concluded World Athletic Championships, where we know Mr. Bolt was just absolutely amazing. But in a race which is much more difficult than 100 or 200 meters, that's the 3,000-meter steeplechase for women. We had a young lady who finished 8th in the final. Can anybody tell me who she is? See, there you are. Can you tell me, sir? Sorry? That's right. Thank you, sir. Well done, well done. Well done. Has any of you, I have tried once, and has anyone ever tried to jump over a steeplechase? Anybody tried? And into the water jump? I challenge anyone to do it once. In the course of a 3,000-meter steeplechase, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one lap is 400 meters, so that's, you divide that, that's 7.5 laps. So you do it 7 times. That young lady, Babbar, she had to do it 7 times, and she finished 8th in the world. Nobody knows about it. The first name, even I'm forgetting. Her second name is Babbar. I think it's Sunita, if I'm not mistaken. So in these last 15 days, for me, you've got the Indian cricket team finally winning overseas. You've got Saina Nehwal getting to the final, which is just phenomenal. This young lady Babbar finishing 8th. You've got these amazing films being released. We're doing plays on K.L. Sehgal and Bahadur Shah Zafar and Guide. So this shift that I see is a tremendous expression of personality in art and sport. And is Nachiz ne ye bhi predict kiya tha in 1991-92 when the economy opened up, that if nothing else benefits, Indian sport is going to benefit. Because sport is an individual effort. And what is the connection with the economy? Well, if you feel that you're the economical equal of athletes across the world, it gives you confidence to perform. And if you look at our performances at the world level, in athletics, which for me is the final, the most difficult part of sports, our performance since 91-92 is phenomenal. It used to be मेरे ज़माने के जो लोग हैं, ज़्यादातर आप जो मैं देख रहा हूँ, आप सब मेरे ही ज़माने के, या मैं आपके ज़माने के. Milkha Singh became a national hero in 1960 by finishing what? 4th. 4th. Now, can anybody today become a national hero finishing 4th? No. You have to win a medal now to be a national hero. Milkha ji was phenomenal. The timings, dosto, the timings that Milkha Singh did in 1960 for the 100, 200 and 400 meters would win the national games today in 2015. That's how good he was. But wo hero bane kaise? By finishing 4th. Today, if you want to be a hero of Indian sports in the Olympics, you have to win a medal. I think it's fantastic. This is tremendous achievement. And jab Milkha ji ke upar film banayi gayi, Suddenly Bollywood said, yaar, hum film unke baare mein nahi bana sakte, who came fourth. But he was a hero. So they made up an entire story about Milkha Ji, that in that 400-meter final at Tokyo, he looked backwards. He never looked backwards. But somehow they had to say, yaar, ye aadmi itne bade hero kaise bane? He finished fourth. So they made an entire story that Milkha Singh was in first place and he looked back. That never happened. But because today we're a country where individuals are so important, they added this to the story with Milkha Ji's blessing, by the way. And you had a super duper hit film. Could anyone have imagined 10 years ago that a super hit film was going to be made on a runner? Impossible. So the shift in art and the shift in sport is the tremendous breakaway from, in Hindi films, the traditional story कि बेचारा कोई गरीब लड़का है, अमीर लड़की से प्यार होता है, बाप मना करता है, ये और वो. That's gone. We're making films on actual stories. And I'm very proud of our Hindi film industry, that we've got the guts. And Salman Khan, and I don't criticize him, as a human being, he's made massive mistakes, but as a film star, you cannot criticize him. His greatest film ever is a film which has finally got a story. Bajrangi Bhaijaan has got a story, and it's his greatest hit ever. What does that say? Baba, you need stories, you need emotions, you need genuine look at life. So for me, at the artistic, and again at sports, and for me sports is an art. The shift in the last 20 years, sir. Sorry, whom? I couldn't hear you.
This is Sudha Singh,
Yes.
who has qualified for the Olympics for the 42 kilometer marathon. And she comes from she comes from Raebareli, and therefore is still more ignored.
Sir, I have not forgotten her at all. She's broken the Indian national record. She's fantastic, but she didn't finish 8th. The reason I mentioned young Babbar is that to finish 8th, she's a fantastic runner. I've been following her for many, many years, and she's broken a record. To reach 8th in the world in the marathon, she's got a long ways to go. So I'm not declaiming her, but we have another amazing, like this basketball player, I believe is Gurnam Singh, jo Punjab ke hai, 7 foot 2 inches. He's been chosen by the Dallas Maverick team. He's not played a game yet. The games he's playing are summer league games. They're the training games. And we've treated them like he's played for the Dallas Mavericks. He's not. So hum log ek cheez ko matlab बढ़ावा, and what this marathon runner does is fantastic. But what I'm saying is, what that Babbar lady does to finish 8th is such a phenomenal achievement. Marathon, we've had Asha Agarwal and many great runners. We've never had, until this lady arrived 2-3 years ago, in the 3,000 meter steeplechase, we've not had a great runner. So these are amazing achievements. But at the same time, we take something like the IPL and make it into the greatest gift to cricket. It is going to be the end of cricket. It's going to be the ruination of cricket. Someone like Javed Miandar, who happens to be married to someone else's sister, we won't get into that. He had the guts to say 10 years ago that T20 cricket is a poison and should be banned. Whereas on our side, Rahul Dravid, Sunil Gavaskar, when T20 started, they said it's poison. But when they saw where the money was, they all jumped on the bandwagon and said T20 is the greatest thing cricket has ever discovered. So as you were saying, sir, yours is a much more important issue than sports or films. I'm so proud of the Hindi film industry that at least we're dealing with truthful subjects now. We're dealing with truthful issues. You see that film, Kaun Kitne Paani? Have you seen it, sir? Aap dekhiyega, sir. Total. Haji? The chess player. Sir, he's been great for a long time. That's nothing new. His shift was, we've had great chess players for decades.
Small column about him, vis-a-vis IPL and whatever.
No, I agree, sir. But I'm talking about things, you're talking about the shift.
What about a 10-year-old boy from Haryana recently, just a few months ago,
Ji.
weeks ago? He got the first position.
But sir, with all due respect, that's another story which has been exaggerated. I want us to talk about actual facts. हमारे हिंदुस्तान में हमारी एक आदत है, मैं भी इस चीज का शिकार हूँ. We hear something and we make it. I'm talking about actual, what this boy done is, he's done it on the fringe. Golf में जो किया है, उनके माँ बाप ने बढ़ावा दिया है. I'm being very honest. Yes, tremendous achievement. A tremendous achievement. Sir, he's come fifth in a major. It's fantastic. But golf is something जो जिसमें हम खेल रहे हैं काफी देर से. I'm trying to see it. We're talking about a shift. It's fantastic. To come fifth in a major is superb. But ये जो जिन चीज like to become, Saina Nehwal is she's not 5, 4, 3, 2. She is one. She is number one. It is so phenomenal. It is such a shift. It's just I mean, and she should be on the cover of every magazine. She should be. What's that woman from Hyderabad done? I mean, she's actually from Haryana, but she lives in Hyderabad. It's phenomenal. And all these people you're talking about are great. I'm saying, but here, this is not some story. This is a fact that we've got the number one badminton player in the world. It's phenomenal. So these are shifts which are very important to me, but in the larger scale of things, the shifts that you two were talking about, of course, are much more important. But sport and art do reflect the inner soul of a nation. And even Hitler knew that. And of course, the 1936 Olympics in Berlin were an example of that. And but thank you for this opportunity. And I'm so happy that you people brought up all these other names, because in sports and art, the shift is, you got someone like Nawazuddin in films. This film, Manji, which I've not seen yet. I worked with Nawaz in one of his earlier films. I mean, if he walked in the door right now, you wouldn't recognize him. He's one of the most ordinary looking actors I've ever seen in my life. Phenomenal talent. He is part of a shift that a man like him, I mean, Nasir and Ohms, started the pattern. But this guy is gone skyrocketing. So there is a tremendous shift of the individual. And art and sport has to be the individual. It cannot, I mean, obviously it's see the sport, the team sport that we play the best is cricket. Because in the end, cricket is an individual sport within a team sport. So we as a nation, hockey we won, but the last time we really had a great hockey team was in 1964. Since then, we really have not had a great hockey team. So these are things that, I mean, as I said, what you're talking about is much more important. Democracy, freedom, ecology, the right approach to nature is much more important than films or sport. But for me, films and sport do represent the fact that we're facing up to realities, and as individuals, individual Indians, we have crossed boundaries. I mean, when Bindra won the gold medal in 2008, I almost fainted. I could never dream that. और जीतने के बाद एक साल तक बिंद्रा ने क्या किया? कुछ भी नहीं. कुछ भी नहीं. Again, when a Chinese or an American wins the gold medal, 1 week later he's competing somewhere else. Bindra didn't do a thing for 1 year. ये कमजोरियां भी हैं, खूबियां भी हैं. But thank you for this opportunity. I've enjoyed listening to these two esteemed people, and it's a great honor and a great pleasure to be here. Thank you very, very much.